buenos días, bienvenidos a Tierra. Bueno, nos da mucho gusto que estén aquí en la primer ponencia del día. Les vamos a presentar a dos chavos que vienen de IBM. Bueno, tienen una plática muy interesante, así que bienvenidos y les pido un aplauso, por favor.
Oh. Buenos días. Campus Party es muy impresionante. Es muy impresionante. Me gusta mucho estar aquí. Puedo sentir la energía. Pero lo siento, mi español es muy mal. So I have to speak in English. Sorry about that. But I want to thank you all for being here today. And I'm very excited about what we're talking today, about startups, and what IBM is like when we're trying to start up. And as I think about IBM and think about startups, what we've learned is it's about scale. Scale. Scale is everything. Scale, 24/7 support, always having your servers on and running all the time. If something goes down, you're in trouble. You're in trouble, right? You need to always have it up and running. You have to be able to anticipate. You have to be able to anticipate that you will have additional load, right? All of these things about scale. Now, these are all good things. But this is not what I'm talking about today. What I mean about scale is having great results again and again. It's about having great user experiences over and over. It's about having and providing value to your customers with every iteration. Having great results again and again while you grow, and while you grow rapidly, growing both from a customer base as well as trying to hire new employees. And that's very difficult, especially trying to keep with your beliefs and your culture. With your beliefs and your culture. Scale, having great results again and again while growing rapidly and keeping to your beliefs and cultures. Now the key to scale is focusing on your user. It's focusing on your user. So, how do you scale a user-first company? How do you scale a user-first company? Well, we thought about this problem, and we thought it's just like you. It's just like a startup. It's just like you guys out in the audience. Now, we spent a lot of time working with with startups and trying to learn the culture and learn how they work and learn from their experiences, learn from their successes, and learn from their failures. And what we realized about IBM is that we're not far off. We have always been a user-focused company. But we did learn that we could do better. We did learn that we could do better. So, how do we? We are just like you, just a little bit bigger. Just a little bit bigger. Now here's the thing. As we learn to become a user-focused environment, everyone, large or small, starts in one place. Every new beginning starts with one. And today, I have the great pleasure of introducing one of these user-focused designers. Mirko is part of IBM Design, And he's been with IBM for less than 2 years. And he's done startups in multiple countries. And he's just like you in the audience, the students as well as the startups. He has been out there, and he's passionate, and he's curious, and he's continuing to learn, and he continues to strive. And this is what we embody at IBM. This is what we embody at IBM. So, with further ado, I'm going to bring up Mirko onto the stage to talk to you about how IBM is transforming into a user-focused company.
Thank you, Brian. Is this thing on? Thank you. Thank you. Hi, everyone. So, as Brian mentioned, I am a designer at IBM, and at first glance, you may think that I'm a unicorn or something. But the truth is, IBM has a long history of design excellence at IBM. This is Thomas J. Watson's memo from December 20th, 1966, where he states that good design is good business. And once upon a time, we used to make tape machines and things like typewriters to power the world's business. But not much has changed over the years. You know, we still make products that power the world's business. The thing is, we've always done this kind of thing at scale. But in the quest for scale, one thing we've never forgotten is that things are very complex in the world, and that in order for this world to work for you, we have to humanize the enterprise. And humanizing the enterprise is about clarifying the complexity that comes with every enterprise. And we do that by focusing on a user. In this case, the user today is you. We believe that great outcomes are measured by great user experiences. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what a user experience is. I'm assuming some of you guys know, but let's just recap. You know what this is? You guys have seen, like, you know the feeling you get when you run into one of these things. You're kind of like in the bathroom, and you kind of like whack the thing with your elbow, and then you like stick your hands in, and it blows lukewarm air at you. And then you walk out of the bathroom like shaking your hands off because it's never actually dry. It didn't work. It's disgusting, and you feel worse because of it. And then once upon a time, you encounter one of these, and you can see it. Like if you walk out of like one of the bathrooms at the Atlanta airport, like people are coming out of the bathroom smiling, like, oh my gosh, that was awesome. And you look in, just like, what are these people all smiling about? So you go into the bathroom, and you realize that everyone's just been sticking their hands in this thing in and out, because this thing works. And what this product has done, it has made the experience of drying your hands such a pleasurable experience that it puts a smile on somebody's face. What was the last product that put a smile on your face? So we product people have a very, very bad tendency to think of products in terms of this. This is a bicycle. It's got a handlebar, some seat, a frame maybe. If you're lucky, it has wheels. Am I missing anything? I think that's pretty much everything. So this is the biggest problem facing IBM, that this is not a user experience. This is a set of features. And when you design products like this, you're designing a set of features, and this bike is as likely to end up dusty, crawling in spiders in someone's garage as it is to be ridden like this. This is a user experience. It's important to remember that a user experience is a user experience because we are driven by emotion, not by reason. And when we design things without emotion, without a soul, the user experience is lost. Good design is about recognizing that the person on the other end has a lot less patience than you do. This is not our quote, of course, but a wonderful one. So at IBM Design, we have a formula for getting to great user outcomes, and that is that people plus practices plus places equals outcomes. I'm going to talk a little bit about how our journey at IBM Design has sort of taken this formula and implemented it at the company at scale. So number one, people. We're hiring user-centered designers like crazy. And it's not just design. It's not that designers are the only user-centered people in the world. It's just that we come with a set of skills inherent in our training that puts us in a position to focus on a user. We're hiring 1,200 designers at the company by 2018. We've identified 9,800 candidates, reviewed 5,000 portfolios. I've probably reviewed a couple hundred myself. 1,700 phone screens, and 830 fly-downs down to Austin, Texas. And of all of that, we've only hired 314 people, so we have a long way to go. But that also makes us one of the biggest design studios in the world. So what does it look like when you try to add 314 designers into a company all at once? Well, first of all, they have to learn to work at scale. Nothing really prepares you to work on a 300-person team. But our IBM design camps come pretty close. We put new hires through a 3-month rigorous training process where they work on projects that are close to the business and strategic. And what they do is they learn to work at scale. Now 314 is a drop in a bucket, if you think about it. We're a big company. So what happens when 430,000 employees want to become design thinkers? Well, you have to scale that too. So what we do is we fly entire product teams down to Austin, Texas to participate in a 1-week intensive design camp where we teach them the ropes of design thinking. And of course, I should talk a little bit about design thinking for a moment. But first, I'm going to talk about the IBM design language. The IBM design language was formed to help unify all of IBM's offerings into a coherent language. So we haven't had a true design language for a long time, and we have over 6,000 products in our portfolio. The key to managing 6,000 products in a portfolio is not about uniformity. It's about unity. Every product needs to speak its own language to the user and communicate what it's about. And we don't forget our heritage, of course. A lot of the design language, as you'll see, is taken directly from our past and builds on the giants that came before us. We've introduced IBM design thinking, and IBM design thinking for us is the thing that comes between the problem and the solution. What we mean by that is there's a messy process somewhere in between a problem and a solution, but what we can do is we can help teams collaborate better together at scale for repeatable results. And the core tenets of design thinking, number one, is to understand your context and understand your users. When you understand your context and when you understand your users, they will feel like you get them, and you will make better solutions because of it. Think about it. Solutions live and die by fitness for context. So make sure that your products are fit for context. Now, understanding is also grounded in deep empathy for your users. Again, humans are driven by emotion, not by reason. So it's important to remember that if you do not actually truly understand your users' emotional states, their goals, their workflows, their hopes, their dreams, your product will have less and less soul. We explore possibilities. We explore possibilities by diverging on ideas. We don't pick an idea and go with it until we've explored hundreds of ideas. And once we have an idea that we settle on, we make it tangible. Making something tangible is about building with your hands, not with your head, because sometimes you can only know something once it's physically there. So we prototype tangibly to make better products. And lastly, we evaluate. We evaluate on human value and human value alone. Is what we built, is our idea valuable to humanity? Because if it's not, then we should try again. Now, of course, as Brian mentioned, we've learned from a lot of people, and we stand on the shoulders of giants. Design thinking has been codified by IDEO co-founders David Kelly and Bill Moggridge. You guys might have heard of these guys. They're very important people. And the intellectual home for design thinking is the Stanford D School, or the Hasso-Plattner Institute. But our challenge is to do that all at scale, repeatably. So what IBM Design Thinking offers is a repeatable design thinking framework to help distributed teams not only drive alignment, but deliver their products. We establish shared practices and a shared vocabulary for development, design, and go-to-market. And, of course, the intellectual home of IBM Design Thinking is the Austin Design Center. So a little bit about the core practices of IBM Design Thinking. Number one is HILs. HILs are about making sure that everyone is focused on user outcomes. We pick 3 and only 3 HILs. Pick them flawlessly, do them flawlessly. HILs focus your projects on big but attainable problems and outcomes for users. So when we write HILs, we write them about outcomes for users. What that allows us to do is give teams the autonomy to figure it out themselves and figure out how they want to come to that user experience. Playbacks. We use playbacks to tell stories and align a team around experiences deliver. What's important about this is experiences deliver are not project line items. We're not putting in features or functions or business requirements. These are experiences of a user actually going through your product and using it and achieving their goals at the end. Playbacks are fundamentally about storytelling. And lastly, the most important person on your team is always going to be the person using your product. So sponsor users are about bringing your users into the design process with you to help you design for those edge cases, for those unforeseen circumstances that only they know because they're the user. And of course, we do this all in an agile way. We build clarity of outcome. We fail fast and we learn fast. We fail early and we learn early. This is really interesting because we do it every day and we do it on a day-to-day basis. Failing fast and learning fast, failing early and learning early are about continuous learning, about iterating as you go, about being okay with failure and not knowing what the next step is going to be, but that's okay. You just go and do it. And lastly, the self-directed teams. Only you know how you work best, and only your team knows how your team works best. So in order for our company to work best, we need to allow the teams that build our products the freedom for framework to act, the framework to act on their own. So the last part about scaling great outcomes is our places. And this is one I'm very excited about. That top one is the view from my desk at work. And the bottom one is a product team coming down to Austin, Texas to have a design camp. Brian Cheng is actually that guy in the picture. I think he's wearing it now, and I don't think he's changed it in like 2 months or something. We work remotely. We work across the world. One of the important things that we have to remember is our product teams are all over the world. And when they're all over the world, we need to find ways to collaborate together in our places. So we've built spaces that help us collaborate across geos and across countries and across time zones. And we build spaces that help teams define their own workspace autonomously. In the Austin studio, we do something we call guided serendipity, which is about letting teams focus their own spaces and build their own spaces out so that they can organize their way, and that every time you walk through the Austin studio, it looks just a little bit different. And then the next time you come, it looks a little bit different. And they reflect the growth of these teams. This isn't an isolated event at IBM. These are our worldwide studios, and we are just building more of them and more of them every year. Tim Brown, a very important man in the design world, once said that this is the largest transformation program that he has ever heard of, and that if successful, we will change the world of design, and we are very excited to do that. So, to answer the question, how do you scale a user-first company? You find people who care, and then you educate the people who don't yet care. You make user experience a common goal. We drive alignment by driving alignment on user experience. And then we find the practices that support it. So find the practices that support it for you and your company, because it's going to be different for everybody. Embrace diversity. Strive for unity, not uniformity, because unity is what brings your teams together and brings your products together without looking rigid, without feeling rigid, by communicating what every single one of our products does to the user. Iterate, learn, course correct. It's okay not to know everything. Fail fast, learn fast, fail early, learn early. And lastly, give your teams the autonomy they need to do what they do best. Only they know what they do best. I'd like to pass this back off to Brian, because I talked a little bit about culture. Culture is a very, very important thing to your company. It's the soul of your company. It's the thing that makes your company run, and it's reflected in the offerings that you put out into the world. But there is, of course, the technology side. And because IBM works for you, our role in this business is to make sure that we can help you guys scale. And with that, back to Brian.
Thank you, Mirko. Thank you, thank you. You are right. Same shirt, probably haven't changed it in 2 months. But I did take a shower upstairs where all the tents are. I did. Late last night. Not this morning. Just playing. So, how can we help you scale? How can we help you scale? We're trying to do it on our own, right? So, I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you a story about a startup that we work with. Because in fact, we are customers of you guys. We are customers of you guys. So we were working with a startup. We are working with a startup right now. It's an 8-person company. It's an 8-person company. And what we did was we purchased licenses of this company for less than 1% of our overall population. Less than 1% of our overall population. So that's about 4,000 users. It's about 4,000 users. Just to try it. Just to try it. Now think about this. If your solution is $10 a month per user, for a year, we just spent $500,000. We just spent $500,000 just to try the software. Just to try it. Now think about that. Think about the scale of IBM, and when we become a customer of you. Scale all of a sudden is massive. And what we do as IBM to actually just to try your software, is we have to be able to run security tests on it, penetration tests. We have to make sure that if we put confidential information into your system, it will not get out. So we try to hack your system. We also have to integrate it into our enterprise system, our enterprise identity management. So no, you can't just log in through Facebook. You have to be able to provide the ability to log in through Facebook, but also the ability for us to hook our enterprise identity manager into your environment. You have to be able to provide us APIs to integrate your system into our enterprise systems, our on-premises environments. So it's security, it's identity management, it's APIs, everything at scale. Just to try it, 4,000 people, $500,000. Think about that. Now think about this. This particular team was scaling there was viral growth within IBM, and it scaled over 50% a month. Over 50% a month. So we went from 4,000 to 10,000 in 2 months. Talk about scale. Talk about scale. But here's the other part. IBM is not just also looking at the technology. For us to work with a startup, we will also review all your legal contracts. We will also review all your financial statements and all your credit statements. When I talk about scale, I'm not just talking about technology. I'm talking about the whole business. And as we look at how we scale as startups and as small businesses, we're talking about this. Even IBM is going through this. We are going through this transformation. So, how can we help you scale, not only from technology, but also the user focus, and the business side, and the marketing side, and help you grow as a business? So first, let me talk about the technology. IBM Bluemix. IBM Bluemix gives you those capabilities around 24/7 support, easy scale, right? Security, all of those things that you have to worry about. However, we make it simple for you to build on Bluemix so that you don't have to worry about the technology. You can focus on the user. With IBM Bluemix, we have over 100 new services so that you can make it easier for you to start to build capabilities that your users want. We have spent over $1 billion on IBM Bluemix. And what that means is we didn't spend $1 billion just because we wanted to spend $1 billion. We spent it on you. We spent it on the future of what you guys can provide. And not only that, but we also provide pre-built solutions within IBM Bluemix so that you can start to work very quickly and build for your users. Allow you to focus on your users. Now, IBM Bluemix is also a marketplace. And what this provides is your solution could actually be a service within Bluemix. What does that mean? That means that any customer of IBM Bluemix can also use your service. We are a marketplace for you. We are a go-to-market channel for you. We help you make money. We help you drive value to your customer. We help you stay focused on the user. One of those key features that I wanted to point out was IBM Insights for Twitter. This is a service within Bluemix. It allows you to easily access Twitter data. It allows you to run compliance checking against the tweets so that if there's a tweet that's been deleted or modified, we will actually make sure that whatever results you get back are the correct results. And we also provide real-time analysis of the Twitter decahose for sentiment, for how people feel. We will run sentiment analysis in Spanish, in Español, and English, and some other languages. The other is IBM Watson. IBM Watson. We provide all the cognitive thinking for you. We provide all of the ability to do natural language processing for you and make it easy for you to do this. And so, actually, I love a demo. So I'm going to ask, I'm going to demo it. I'm going to show you how IBM Watson works on Bluemix. This is a fun demo for me. So I'm just going to click over here and launch into IBM Watson here and give it a go. And, uh-oh, what's happening on my screen? Oh, no. What's going on, guys? Ah! You killed it! All right. All right. Just playing. All right, so I'm going to show you a little demo of IBM Watson, guys. This is called a personality insights test. This is going to read natural language, and it's going to tell me about a person. And I'm going to do this on myself. Now, I'll be honest, I had never seen this before, and then when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, this is insane. So I decided to try it on myself. So, turns out I have a LinkedIn profile. And I'm going to go grab my LinkedIn profile. And you can read it. It's a lot of text. Talks about all kinds of stuff. And I'm just going to plop it in here. And I'm going to analyze this. All right? And as I analyze it, what it's going to provide to me is my personality. If you want to get to know me, then you can just read this, and then you don't actually have to talk to me. But this talks about what I like to do. Apparently, I am adventurousness and artistic. I am highly emotional, and I am imaginative. The other part of this is it shows you a massive graph of who I am. Of who I am. And what was interesting is it provides a natural language back to me. So it read this personality about me, and then it responded about who I am. I am restrained and analytical. I am unrestrained when I drink tequila. I am energetic. I enjoy a fast-paced, busy schedule. I'm sure Mirko knows that. And that's probably why I haven't changed my shirt in 2 months. I like many, many activities, and I am driven. These are the types of people that you will find at IBM. Curiosity, driving towards successes, learning, continuing to learn, having passion. This is cool. This is really cool. Just think about this from your customer's perspective. Think about what you can understand, not only from a demographics perspective, right? Where are they tweeting from? Whether or not they have good feelings or bad feelings in Espanol. But you can also start to understand who your user is. Focus on your user. Focus on your user. So that's just a cool service that we've got. Let me just flip back over to the presentation, if I can find it. All right. So the next one is IBM Mobile First. IBM Mobile First within Bluemix helps you build, deploy, and manage mobile applications at scale. So we all know, especially the startups and the younger folks in the crowd, that everyone's got a mobile phone. Everyone's always on their mobile phone. I sleep with my mobile phone in one hand. First thing I do is I check my mobile phone when I wake up. I turn off my alarm if I have an alarm on it. I like to sleep in. But mobile first is about helping you build, deploy, and manage those mobile apps. It's about driving insights with your user experiences through analytics. It's about keeping your apps secure. Trust, right? Trust, it's such an emotional thing. If you break trust, your customers aren't coming back. Your users don't want to use it. It's trust. Scale and sync data both on mobile and in the cloud. And one thing that I find very, very important is the ability to build, test, and deploy to your beta testers at scale, to gain user feedback at scale during test, but also after test, when you're in production, is to gain sentiment. Gain sentiment about whether or not people like your app. So, Bluemix doesn't just stop with technology. Technology is just one part, right? That's what we've been talking about. It's about the user. Bluemix also provides a community for you to gain crowdsourced tutorials and samples about how to use Bluemix. In fact, this community is tied to Stack Overflow. How many of you guys use Stack Overflow? All the time, right? I do the exact same thing. I go to Google, and then I go to Stack Overflow. It's also tied to GitHub. How many of you guys GitHub? All right. If you, I always bookmark awesome iOS UI, a curated list. Good to have if you want to look at it. But if you search GitHub, github.com, and you search for Bluemix, and if you're on your mobile phone, you could do that, you will find over 600 repositories. Over 600 repositories of samples and code that point to Bluemix. Over 600. Copy paste. I'm a big fan of coding with Control-C and Control-V. That's how I code. All right? So there's a community. It's an online community. But it also allows you to connect with others in that community. They provide face-to-face meetup events as well, so you can actually get to know someone. But if a community and meetups is not enough, we also have something called Bluemix Garage. And Bluemix Garage is tailored for you. It's a one-on-one experience to help you start your business. And in fact, what we do is we work with you to help focus on your user. And we're building Bluemix garages around the world at the moment, around the world. However, you'll notice there isn't one here in Central America, in Mexico. But that's okay, because we will come to you. We will come to you. There's the Bluemix garage. And there's one last piece that I'm very excited about. So, yes, we're here to help you. We're here to help you. But how do we help you get started at scale? How do we help you get started at scale? We provide the IBM Global Entrepreneur Program. The IBM Global Entrepreneur Program. We will give startups like yourselves up to $120,000 US in credit to leverage Bluemix and SoftLayer. $120,000 US. So you don't have to pay for a platform. How insane is that? Right? We not only provide you that financial support and the technology support, but we also provide you go-to-market support. We help you build your marketing plan. I can tell you, when I was in my 20s, and I'm not in my 20s anymore, When I was in my 20s, I didn't know about marketing plans. But we will provide you go-to-market support. We will provide you business mentorship. Now, this is amazing. This is amazing because we acquire so many companies a year, right? We see these successes all the time. In fact, 2 days ago, we just acquired another company while I was here. We provide you business mentorship. And of course, when you guys are in the trenches working through that first iteration, when you're focused on your user and you do have a question, we will come to your office and provide office hours. We will sit with you. We will work with you. We will help you focus on your user. Scale. Scale like this. All the tents. But in reality, it's about scale. User focus. Growing more and more. And so with that, I want to thank you for your time, and I want to open it up for questions. Catchbox. Is it like Catchbox 20? Or is that Matchbox 20? All right. What do I do with this? Oh, I throw it out. Any questions? Yes. All right. That camera is in trouble. Oh, skills that pay my bills.
Thank you. I wanted to ask you about the Global Entrepreneur Program. In programs of this type from other companies, they do it through, for example, a governmental department or something like that. In your program, can we go directly to you and talk to you, and we don't need, or what do we need to subscribe to your program?
That's a great question. That's a great question. In fact, one of the folks here, one of the companies here, are actually working through that process at the moment. And we also have an IBMer here that is here to help you one-on-one with those questions, and he speaks much better Spanish than I do. So Francisco, or Javier, definitely. All right. Do you toss it back? Do I get to try to catch it? All right. And then I'll throw it over to you? Oh! All right, here we go. Overhand or underhand? Oh, okay. Darn, I was wanting to toss it out again. Anybody else? Ladies first. All right, you got this? You sure? All right, here we go. Oh! 1 for 1, 2 for 2.
Thank you. I'm very interested in Watson. It's like a computer, right? I'd like to know how Watson works.
Wow, that is a very good question. Watson is a lot smarter than me, and actually I have Romilia right here that can talk to you about that.
So it's
and
like
she also speaks better Spanish
artificial
than I do.
intelligence application, right?
Yeah, it does a lot of natural language processing and understands as opposed to searches documents.
So we can talk on the break, but the Watson technology does a lot with, as Brian was saying, natural language processing. We make Watson available through all of the Bluemix APIs. So when we first came out with Watson, it was a giant computer and it was kind of self-contained. But today, we came out with the computer in 2011, and today we're making services available from Watson. They can be services like the insights that was shown earlier today. They can be translation services. They can be different kinds of things that you want analyzed in your data, social media analytics, things of that nature. So definitely visit the Bluemix sites, and I'm happy to discuss it with you after the break.
Oh, you're gonna, oh man, I thought I was gonna have to dive for it. By the way, there is a 2-hour Bluemix session at the IBM booth where you can watch someone code or code with them. It's your choice. All right, I had another one over here. All right, here we go. By the way, I'm left-handed. Ding!
Hi. I really appreciate how IBM is getting involved in startups, growing. I heard some conference about how some companies help us, but I want to congratulate IBM, but because in your conference I've been watching how Bluemix is a real big platform about this and how it get rolled with all people get are in technology. I get a doubt about how IBM is involved in the startup in the part of commercial part. You're saying, I understand that it was like all free, but do you think it's something IBM get involved in the money when the startups grow up?
Oh, okay. We view it this way. As you grow and as you scale beyond the startup capital that we provide to you, you will continue to use the environment. It's a good environment, and we're here to help you. And what we've noticed in our experience is that we don't necessarily have to, quote unquote, share revenue with you, right? What we're really doing is focusing on you and helping you focus on your user. And with that and the good ethics behind it and the belief in the culture, this is how we find that we are able to scale. Remember the first slide I talked about scale. It's not only about growing and being able to have successes again and again, but it's also to be able to keep at your core ethics and your beliefs and culture. And IBM has always thought about innovation for everyone, right? So we're just here to help you, and by helping you, we will see that our platform is also helping others. All right, let's see what you got. Uh-oh! Oh! You thought I was going to drop it. Do you have a question? Okay. Hey, oh! Uh-oh. That woman better, watch out, sorry. You ready? All right, here we go. Happy feet. Oh, nice! Oh, sorry. Sorry. Lo siento.
No problem, buddy. Thank you. So my question for you is, what is IBM Bluemix doing different compared to its competitors like HP Helium? We have Microsoft Azure, we have Amazon. And I think that IBM Bluemix is also based in OpenStack, just like HP Helium. So what is the difference there?
Great question. Great question. So this is what I found in my research as I have consulted with some startups. First off, when I look at Amazon Web Services, that's just providing an infrastructure, and I've got to do my installs or whatever it may be, right? Whereas, yes, other systems like Azure, they might provide you some pre-built environments for you to just click the button, start up, right? So we do that as well. But the core that I find are the key things that I just talked about. Twitter, Watson, and mobility. We are really focused on a lot of the capabilities to help you build solutions that meet the needs of your customers. And in fact, I don't really think just building like a web page is enough anymore, right? I really have to think about mobile first and driving that. And what I see with when you go down into the details about mobile first and and the capabilities within Bluemix around mobile quality assurance, the ability for it to automatically scan your code and find vulnerabilities, as well as our over 1,000 researchers in IBM security working every day to try to hack other systems to refine algorithms. No one has that. No one has that. And then the last one, just taking it up higher level, I love the fact that IBM Bluemix does not charge you for using your own SSL certificates. So right off the bat, it's saving me $300 a year. Is that good?
Sure, thanks.
All right, let's see what you got, man. I'll have to dive too, right? Oh, all right. Thank you. Sorry about that earlier. All right, any other questions? Yes. All right, this one's easy.
Hello, is it working here? Well, for the tendency of the mobile phones, that's going to be the next step in technology. I mean, it's growing and growing more and more lately. What is the next step for IBM to get into this market? I know that you said something about the mobile phone right now, but what is the next step for IBM to get into the market, and what is the plan for mobile terms?
Great question. Yeah. So if I understand the question, what is the trend for us? Where are we trying to go with mobile?
Yeah, which way are you gonna pick up to get into it?
Yes, good question. So from a development perspective, we recognize, and we've seen this in a trend, right, that hybrid approaches aren't the best user experiences anymore. People are going back to native code, right? And people are using technologies where it's templated code, you write it once, but it compiles into native code. So we are working with companies around driving that direction with native. The other piece that we work on is we have the Apple-IBM partnership, where we're working hand in hand with Apple to drive better user experiences. The third piece is definitely security. It's not only security on the device, but it's security between your device and your system, and once it's on the system, in rest, right? The data in rest. So it's about having an end-to-end environment that you can trust. And we see that not only from consumer apps, but we also see that from enterprise apps, especially going into the enterprise. There's so many mobile employees. In fact, I'm a mobile employee, right? Everyone's a mobile employee at some way. So we see security, we see the Apple-IBM partnerships, we see the ability to start helping others write and manage their native code. And of course, all of the analytics and the Bluemix capabilities that we talked about, providing that ability to make a smarter app to understand your customers so that you can provide better user experiences faster, I think is also extremely important.
So it's scaling with Apple, actually. It's kind of scaling with Apple.
Yeah, we are scaling with Apple. We definitely are.
All
yes.
Right. Well, that's it.
Thanks. I got this. All right. Do we have more time? One more question? Two more questions? Okay. 2 more questions. Anybody? Anybody? Any questions? No questions? You don't want me to peg you? I just throw it right at you? All right. Well, if there are no more questions, I want to thank you all for joining me today, as well as joining Mirko. And we hope you have a good rest of your campus party. Thank you.